Hi, this is Dr. Mike Abrams, a licensed psychologist in New York and New Jersey. I'm continuing my series on love, and I'm taking a slightly different path from where I left off last time discussing the end of love and the emotional, biological correlates. I'd like to talk a bit now on how we develop our attractions, how we become gay, how we can become straight, how we can develop sexual arousals that have nothing to do with another person, fetishes, paraphilias, bondage, discipline, things of that nature, how they develop and can be integral or very, very problematic in our sexuality. How does one develop sexual orientation? Very simply, males are focused in on one sex object, generally rigorously and assiduously throughout their lifespan. Females have a flexible sexuality, with bisexuality very common among women. Why is this? When humans and our primate ancestors were evolving, we lived in small tribal groups, so it was adaptive, with males typically being committed for the short duration I spoke about in love, 6 months to a couple of years, for females to find and to develop love bonds with other females. Males being the hunter-gatherers, the males being predatory, aggressive, needed to have or develop a visual approach to love. They need to have visual triggers. So males would logically have to determine early in life what arouses them. So let's go to gay versus straight. Why would some men be attracted to women? The vast majority, upwards of 94, 95%, maybe even a bit more. During that critical phase, people, in this case men, look for those that are most different from them to be their sexual arousal cues. So if a man, or in this case a young boy's temperament, is associated with that which is more female, if he's less aggressive, if he is less object-oriented, if he is less aggression-focused, his temperament, his style, will be more traditionally, more culturally female. Thus, females will be more similar, and males will be exotic and different. Thus, Darrell Bem set forth a hypothesis which seems to have the best face validity of exotic becomes erotic. Men become attracted to those who are most different. So if a man, or in this case again a boy, is more feminine in style, he will be attracted to males. If he is more masculine, identifies with other males who then are not exotic, the females will be the most different. As I said a few moments ago, women will naturally be bisexual, but with a organic, evolutionarily endowed bias towards males. Otherwise, those that did not seek reproduction would have died out. So a female who is bisexual in terms of flexibility, but heterosexual in terms of long-term reproductive focus, will have passed along the most genes. Therefore, that trait exists. What about other sexual orientations? Paraphilic, bondage and discipline, fetishes. It seems that all of us have a love map. That's a term coined by John Money a generation ago. A prototype, a map, as I said, of what will be our path to love, our love cues, our arousal centers. If that love map is disrupted by shame, guilt, strong negative emotions, or other very salient cues during that critical sexual developmental period, that person will then very likely develop a paraphilia or fetish. The themes of almost all sexual diversions are aggression and passivity. And you'll notice in observing people who are fetish-oriented, the themes will be submission, that is, masochistic, or aggressive, sadistic, and then everything from discipline to fetishistic objects follow those two themes. Okay, this can be seen in my article on sexual abuse and masochism. If it is severe enough where the sexual object is, or arousal cues are sufficiently different from traditional love and affection, that person misses the mark completely, thus paraphilia, to the side of or missing the point of love. Sexual orientation then follows two typical paths towards other men, other women, and if subverted, then can take on symbolic values. Now, that could be a healthy part of love, but if the person becomes irrelevant, then it becomes a damaging paraphilia in which the person is isolated, where the love, affection, interpersonal component becomes irrelevant. A little more on this some point in the future. Thanks a lot.